My dear students, good morning to all of you. Myself B K Singh, your chemistry teacher from Oriental Public School, Kishanganj. Students, today in our video we will discuss the three states of matter, and these are solid, liquid and gas. And students, first of all we will discuss why the matter have three states. The reason is the three state of matter that we have mentioned are because of the interparticle spaces present in different kind of matter, students. Like in solid state, the particles are very closely packed and interparticle spaces are less in number, whereas in the liquid state these are comparatively more, while these spaces are the maximum in the gaseous state. Thus, in the gaseous state, the particles present are very loosely packed in space. Now, students will discuss the properties of solid, and first property, that is solid have definite shape. Students, they do not change their shape even when put in different containers. You can imagine, take your pen in your hand, where you can keep your pen on the desk, on the bench, even in your pocket, wherever you keep, everywhere you'll find the shape of the pen is same. So from this we have concluded that it is having fixed shape. Yes, one more thing is there, some solids can change their shape under force but regain the shape when the applied force is removed. Like rubber, if you stretch it, it may change its shape, but after removing the force, it will regain its original shape. Next one is the solid have definite or fixed volume. The solid keeps their volume, which means that they have fixed volume. Volume is the space occupied by the substance. The solid have fixed volume. Actually, in the solid state, the constants are very closely packed in space and interparticle forces are strong. As a result, the solid keeps their volume. And next property, student, we will discuss the solid can hardly be compressed on applying pressure. Also, we can say the space between the particles is minimum. It is very difficult to compress a solid on applying pressure. For example, we cannot press a piece of stone by applying pressure with our hands. Actually, the constant particles are so closely packed in a solid that they either do not come closer or do so only slightly when a high pressure is applied. Next property we will discuss the movement of the particle is minimum. That means solid have negligible kinetic energy of the particles. The kinetic energy is linked with movement of particles from one place to the other. Since the constraints in a solid state are very closely packed, they have negligible kinetic energy. That is why solid do not flow. Lastly, student, the last property is their rate of diffusion is least. That means solid do not have the property of diffusion. Yes, students, due to the absence of kinetic energy in the particle of a solid, there is hardly any diffusion. For example, let us keep piece of metal like copper and silver side by side, and they may touch each other but will not mix. Now, students, we will discuss the liquid state of matter. Students, we have seen that rigidity is maximum in solid state and fluidity of particle motion is negligible. In the liquid state of substance, both these characters are different. The liquids are less rigid than the solid, and the molecular motion is also comparatively more. Both these characteristics in the liquid state are because of the presence of weaker interparticle force. Now we will discuss the important characteristics of liquid state. Number one is the liquid have no definite shape but have fixed volume. Liquids take the shape of the container. Students, you know, the liquid do not have fixed shape and take the shape of on any container which they are kept in. This is due to the reason that the interparticle forces are not very strong and the particles present in one layer can slide over the other layer quite easily. As a result, a liquid takes up the shape of the container in which it is kept. Now student will discuss the next property, that is the space between the particle is intermediate or liquid have lesser density as compared to solid. As compared to solids, liquid are generally light. This is on account of greater number of interparticle space in the liquid state as compared to the solid state of the matters. But there are certain exceptions also, students, like ice. It is solid state and it floats over water, that is liquid state. So both are chemically same and are made from H2O molecule. Actually the structure of ice is more porous as compared to those of the water. Therefore, for a given mass, the volume of ice is more than that of water and its density is comparatively less. As a result, ice floats over water. Now student will discuss the next property, that is force of attraction between the particles is intermediate. Means due to which the kinetic energy of the particle in a liquid state is more than in the solid state. Students, the particles in the liquid state are less closely packed as compared to the solid state. As a result, the interparticle force are weaker. Therefore, the kinetic energy of the particle in the liquid state of a substance is more than in solid state. It further increases with the rise in temperature. Now the next property, student, the movement of the particles is intermediate. Students, unlike solid, the liquid have fluidity and not rigidity. That is, they have tendency to flow, and this is due to the lesser particular or intermolecular forces that are present in the liquid state as compared to the solid state. However, the liquid differ in their relative fluidity. For example, water flows at the faster rate than honey because in honey the particles are heavier and also more closely packed. Next property, student, they are less compressible, and after that means we cannot compress easily. After that, student, next one is the rate of diffusion is more than solids. Student, due to the lesser interparticle forces of attraction, the particles in a liquid state can diffuse more readily than the solid state of the substance. This also helps in the intermixing of certain liquids. For example, water and alcohol are both liquids and can easily mix to form a liquid mixture or solution. After this, student will discuss the properties of gases. First of all, student, out of the three states of matter, the interparticle spaces are maximum in the gaseous state. The interparticle force which hold the different particles in the gaseous state together are the minimum. As a result, rigidity is the minimum while fluidity is maximum. The important properties of this state of matter now we'll discuss one by one. The number one, the gases have no definite shape or fixed volume. Gases occupy the whole space of the container. Student, gases do not have any shape of their own and they acquire the shape of the container in which they are filled or kept. Next property, student, the space between the particle is maximum. Student, gas do not keep their volume and are highly compressible because the space between the particle is maximum. Since the interparticle distance in the gaseous state are very large, they can be changed by altering the pressure. Thus, a gas can be compressed to a large extent on applying pressure. And after that, student will discuss the force of attraction between the particle is minimum. So students, gases have minimum because of minimum force of attraction, they have maximum fluidity and least rigidity. Since the interparticle space are the maximum in the gaseous state, the attractive force are the least. As a result, the fluidity is very large while rigidity is negligible. And after that, student, the movement of the particle is maximum. So, movement, uh, students, among the three states of matter, the kinetic energy of the particle is the maximum in the gaseous state, and the interparticle force are very weak. As a result, the particle of the molecule of a gas can move quite freely from one place to the other. This means that their translatory motion is large and kinetic energy is quite high. Now the next property, student, they are most compressible. As student, we know the interparticle space between gas is maximum, because of which it have lot of space, and on pressure it can be compressed maximum. After this, student, we are going to discuss the next property, that is their rate of diffusion is more than solids and liquids. Students, since the interparticle space are very large and interparticle forces are quite weak, the particles of one gas can readily move into the empty space of the another gas. That is why the diffusion is maximum among the gases. For example, the smell of food particles of fish being cooked in the kitchen is spread in the lobby and even in different rooms because of diffusion. Now students, we will discuss all the properties of solid, liquid and gases. In short, first of all, first property is interparticle space. Students, in solid state it is very small, particles are closely packed. In liquid state, comparatively large and particles are closely packed. And in gaseous state, it is very large and particles are very loosely packed. Next property, student, the interparticle forces. Students, in solid state it is very strong, in liquid state it is weak, and in gaseous state it is very weak. Next property is, student, nature. Students, in solid state the nature of solid state is very hard and rigid, and the liquid state nature is fluid, and the gaseous state is highly fluid. And next property, compressibility, friends. In solid state, compressibility it is negligible, while in liquid very small, in gaseous state highly compressible. Next property is shape and volume, student. So in solid state it is having definite shape and volume, while in liquid indefinite shape but definite volume, and in gaseous state the indefinite shape as well as volume. Next property is density. So in solid state it is high, and in liquid state less than density in solid state, and in gaseous state it is very low density. After that, student, the molecular motion or kinetic energy. So it is in solid state it is very low, and in liquid state comparatively high, and kinetic energy in gaseous state is very high. Lastly, diffusion. This one, in solid state diffusion is negligible, in liquid state it is slow, whereas in gaseous state it is very fast. Thus, student, we have completed all different properties of the three states of matter, and after this we are summarizing. And finally, student, in the next video we will discuss further, that is change of states of matter. Thank you for watching this video patiently, and take care of yourself. Okay, students, bye.